Prologue. The Fisherman's Ambition. The port of Metropolis X was born from salt and sweat, its wooden docks groaning under the weight of ambition. Decades ago, a young Thomas mended nets under his father's critical eye, the stench of fish guts clinging to his hands. By night, he'd watch shadowy figures trade crates of spices and silks, their laughter echoing over the waves. "This'll be mine," he vowed, crushing a barnacle under his boot. Years later it was. The Sailors' Guild bowed to him, and gold flowed like tidewater. But the sea never forgets a promise, or a sin. Chapter 1. The Black Pearl. A pact in shadows, the storm-swept alley. Rain lashed the docks, turning cobblestones to mirrors. Thomas strode through the tempest, his oilskin cloak slick as a seal's pelt. Azmor awaited in a dead-end alley, cloaked in mist that refused to cling to him. The demon's form flickered, a silhouette with too many joints, eyes like smoldering coals. "The temptation, a trinket for a king," Azmor hissed, uncurling a clawed hand. The black pearl glowed dully, its surface swirling with trapped starlight. Thomas's breath hitched. The air tasted of brine and burnt sugar. "What's it hold?" he growled. Azmor's laugh crackled. A guest, overdue for release. Thomas tossed a pouch of gold, the first of many mistakes. The pearl seared his palm, a cold burn that sank into his bones. Chapter 2. Whispers from the Abyss. Descent into Madness. The Forgotten Library. In a vault beneath the port's crumbling lighthouse, Thomas pored over waterlogged manuscripts. The air reeked of mildew and desperation. A sketch in Tales of the Drowned showed a creature, half man, half eel, its jaws unhinged in a silent scream. Nakal, the text warned, the betrayed, who walks between tides and tears. The haunting that night, Thomas dreamt of teeth. Razor-sharp coral scraped his skin. Voices gurgled in his ears. "You wear my cage," Nakal hissed, his voice a riptide. Thomas awoke choking on seawater, his sheets soaked. The exorcism. In the Cathedral of Souls, incense choked the air as priests chanted. The pearl pulsed hungrily. Candles snuffed out. A novice screamed, blood trickling from his ears. "Leave," the high priest rasped. "This darkness, it feeds." Chapter 3. The Rotting Kingdom. A king dethroned port in flames gangs clashed under a blood-orange moon. The Siren's Call, Thomas's flagship, burned in the harbor, its mast a skeletal finger pointing skyward. A fishmonger spat at his boots. "Where's our king now?" Counting curses? Opiates return. The stranger arrived on a tide of calmer waters. Opiate, lean and silver-haired, wore a scar across his throat like a necklace. "You look like hell," he said, tossing a crate of saffron onto the dock. "But gold still smells sweet." Fragile Order Opiate brokered truces with rum and daggers. Yet his gaze lingered on the pearl, now chained to Thomas's belt. "A pretty thing," he mused, "like a spider in a jewel box." Chapter 4. The Demon's Truth. A Warning in Wine. The Tavern's Edge. In the drunken kraken, opiates swirled wine the color of a bruise. In Karth, they tell of a pearl that drowned a city, its keeper devoured by his own hunger. Thomas stiffened. Legends. "Legends bite hardest," Opiate replied, sliding a dagger across the table. "Cut it loose, or it'll gut you." The Decision. At dawn, Thomas stood at the prow of a skiff, the pearl cold in his grip. "Be someone else's curse," he muttered, hurling it into the waves. The sea swallowed it greedily. Chapter 5. The Tide's Retribution. Birth of Nakal. The poisoned feast crewmen dropped like gaffed fish at the guild's banquet. Their veins blackened, eyes milky as a dead shark's. Thomas clutched a trembling barmaid. What did they eat? Drink? Nothing, she wept. They just touched the nets. Azmor's triumph. The demon materialized in the smokehouse, dripping phantom brine. You think the deep forgets? Nakal hungers, and your port is his first bite. The monster rises, the harbor erupted. Nakal surged from the depths, his torso a grotesque fusion of elf and anglerfish, bioluminescent tendrils lashing. Ships splintered, men screamed. Thomas raised his cutlass, a toothpick against a tempest. Epilogue. The King's Toll. The new port. Thomas rules again, but the docks stink of fear. Nakal's silhouette haunts the horizon, a shadow against the moon. Opiate vanished, leaving only a note. Some cages shouldn't be opened. Azmor's promise. In the market, the demon offers a new artifact, a compass pointing to drowned cities. A merchant reaches, trembling. All debts come due, Azmor croons. Ask the king. A port thrives on two things, gold and blood. Too much of either and you'll sink. Thomas carving the words into the guild's rebuilt bar.